Nothing. Everything. How are you?
I'm fine. So things are better this week. How many times you were in anxiety, duality, conflict?
I don't know how many times, but I know that whatever was happening, none of it stuck. It came and it went.
Very good.
So I just with that itself, I feel there's a sense of confidence that's built. Like when you start to like discern things, like you start to develop like a confidence and then to like see things as like what we've talked about and then like with that confidence like comes like a knowledge, and then like with that knowledge comes like almost like just peace.
You are right. You are perfectly right. That is a good reflection on your life last week. When the incomplete knowledge is claimed as a full knowledge, the suffering begins. So, what we say, the discernment, in discernment, we dissolve and remove. What we remove and dissolve, what does not exist. What does not exist? The false knowledge. What is that false knowledge? False knowledge always depends on the right knowledge when we remove it and dissolve it by discernment.
Hmm.
It can only be removed by discernment. It cannot be removed by any practice. But it doesn't mean that we should not be regular in our practice. So the two things can be understood clearly. You are doing a regular practice. So after a couple of weeks and the months, now the mind tends to move towards the right awareness and right knowledge. Even when the opposing thought, alternating thought enters into your mind, it is left and dissolved by the power of discernment. Now, that discernment helps during the day because you cannot do the practice every time. So, it is the power of the discernment and the knowledge and reflection and the awareness works. But when you are doing the practice regularly, this discernment will play an important role in your regular practice. First, you see the practice has helped you raise your awareness. Now, that heightened state of awareness has given you an understanding. With that understanding, you are doing the practice regularly. So, what will
Hmm.
happen one day? You are sitting into the practice, and my audio file has finished, and you are sitting for 2 hours. You are totally self absorbed. The first time you will recognize the power of this knowledge and the practice. So the knowledge and the practice should go together. I'm hungry. I need food. Now discern it. Apply the discernment. So don't worry, don't be into anxiety. But if you don't follow the practical steps to meet your hunger, you don't go to the kitchen. The mind is waiting. Why you are not going to the kitchen? It will cause you anxiety. So discernment is definitely required. It's one of the greatest power of the intellect. But at the same time, application. Application means the practice. If the practice is not done, I'm doing the practice with you, with everyone, every week, with whomsoever meets me in these sessions. I'm doing the practice. It is my practice. But on the other hand, I'm also doing the practice early every day in the morning. So that is very important to understand in the journey of the Eastern wisdom. You can say in a different way. I told you a couple of times that what the sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Do you know it? Yes, I know it, but prove it. So the math teacher, once you have proved it, they see the very process, how you have arrived that the sum of all the angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Exactly the same way. We are not preaching or preaching. Preaching means what? That you say you are the real self, that's all. Don't talk to me, don't argue, don't ask the question. That is preaching. So when you go to the religious institution, that's why they are known as preachers. They don't know what they are saying and why they are saying. But in Eastern wisdom, so replace that sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Replace it with you are of the nature of the real self, nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Then prove it. How do you prove? That's why we are having a weekly session to understand. So we have to follow the process. So in that process, practice is required, different steps are required, and contemplation, reflection is required. Then only, if you leave the practice, it means, the student can say, you already know the sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree, why you are asking the questions? You get a zero. Even when you know it, even when his answer is right, yes, when you know it, why you are asking?
Yeah.
It's a very logical. It's a supra-logical discipline, Eastern wisdom. It's a supra-logical. So we why it's a supra-logical? You continue your journey of discernment from one level to the second level to the last to the highest level, and once you reach to the highest level, your intellect and the mind stops thinking. It says, no, 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 not at all, I'm not thinking. You are already you're already in the state of emptiness. You dare your mind not to say anything. Silence is the language of the real self. In that silence, you awaken yourself. So that is why, because if you don't follow the process with the math teacher, it says no, then okay, zero. Or you twist the principles, zero. If you twist the principles, your conclusion is 190 degree or 100 degree. What is that 190 degree? It is my anxiety, it is my duality, it is my reaction. Think in this way. Think always that whatever you learn weekly, now I have to prove it. And how I have to prove it? Let me apply my intellect. And the moment you start applying your intellect, it opens the gateway to the knowledge and the wisdom. But if you don't contemplate and reflect and you don't practice, the mind says I'm already controlling you, so I will come control you. How? By impulsive nature, by incomplete knowledge, by putting you into anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. My eyes cannot hear, cannot feel the sensation of touch. My eyes cannot experience the fragrance of a flower. My nose can only smell but cannot do other tasks. You see how this discernment works. One very easy example. So all the five sense organs perceives the different objects, have a different perception, but the root is only one, the mind. And what is the root of the mind is only one, consciousness. What is that consciousness is the real self. I have to prove it. You cannot say consciousness number one perceives you through the eyes, consciousness number two perceives the smell, consciousness number three feels the sensation of touch, consciousness number four feels the sensation of sound. No, it is one. How do you know? It is my experience. I don't see fragmented consciousness inside my head. Otherwise, my mind should have understood it. I see only oneness. When we realize and recognize that oneness inside, oh, from the same knife used by a criminal, and the same knife is used by the people in the kitchen. Knife has to be one. It cannot be two. With little modifications, So understand. So this is one way to see it. Other part of the discernment is that what is that? It came to my mind and it slept instantly. Yes, every sense organ has a limited knowledge. What is limited knowledge? It is incomplete knowledge. My eyes can only see the form and the color. It cannot see, it cannot hear, it cannot feel whether it is soft or hard. I can make assumption by looking at it and past experiences of sensation of touch, looking at the characteristics, I can make up, but my assumption cannot be right. So when my assumption is not right, I enter into an incomplete knowledge. That incomplete knowledge is known as ignorance. Eastern wisdom says you can realize the real self by removing the ignorance. No, I don't have any ignorance. I'm very intelligent. But I'm crazy after wealth. Yes, I'm crazy after wealth. Without the wealth, happiness cannot come. False assumption. You see that we instantly, we put ourselves into a stress to have the wealth to be happy. My beginning is wrong. My beginning is wrong. Today, one has booked the call, and in his introduction, he said that I have taken an interview of the greatest coach in US, and I realized that what he exactly wants to talk, as if he is in contact with the greatest coach, but you are not the greatest coach. That I have realized. So softly I said, I don't know that greatest coach. He named something I remember. I heard him a couple of times. And I know I'm totally upset because everyone has a big ego. So I was waiting that what he has to say. it aligns with our topic today of incomplete knowledge. So you are coaching people with the Eastern wisdom. The first he wanted to touch the nerve that as if, I'm earning millions. And so then he told me, I said, no, I normally give every 3 months program on Google UK, and one session is already there with the Microsoft group session for 40, 50, 60 people sit together. So I just give a talk, very simple talk, and then I give the simple practice. He said, problem with the Eastern wisdom is that people don't accept it easily. People don't understand it. So how you are getting the clients? I said, are you a seeker of peace and happiness, love and wisdom? Can you tell me who is not a seeker of peace, happiness, love and wisdom? Everyone is. So I say I start the journey with that understanding. Why you want to be a millionaire? To be happy? Yes. So I said I start the journey from there. I tell them that let us start the journey with the happiness before you become a millionaire. Why? Because your excitement, your hesitation, your incomplete knowledge, your false assumption that the wealth gives you the happiness will dissolve, and you will start living in the state of peace and happiness. So not people, I said people, every people accepts the Eastern wisdom if they are willing to listen and understand. You also coach people. You don't coach everyone. Only who is ready to listen to you, you coach people. The same thing with me also. So he said, then we will, now he said that, now I found his emptiness and the hollowness. Then he said that we will record a podcast. I have a podcast. From there, you will get a client. So he first started that I took the interview of the greatest coach. And then this guy who doesn't stand anywhere, it means now I have understood you, where you stand. I did not say that. This is what we do every day. With a
What do you mean?
With a false assumption, we think, we speak, we act our daily life, and where we cross the threshold, we have anxiety, fear, duality, conflict. Reverse. What is reversal? When you experience these symptoms, you have, by power of discernment, you have to remove this false assumption. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Who will support you?
No one.
Your regular practice in the morning will support you. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhaga bhavet. I have, even you need not to say in Sanskrit, let everyone be happy, let everyone be in the state of well-being, let everyone be blessed, let there be a tranquility. Heart. I gave an acronym to you. Heart.
I haven't heard that one.
I
haven't heard heart.
The heart is an acronym. The first line of the mantra is, let everyone be happy. So I have taken the word essence of that first liner is the happiness. So you remember the acronym H. Second line of the verse is let everyone be in the state of well-being. So I took the essence of it, letter E, eliminate illness. Specifically, eliminate the mental and the emotional illness. And the third line is Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Let everyone be blessed. So I have taken A letter in the heart. The third line, essence is auspiciousness. Let everyone enter into the state of the auspiciousness. And the fourth line is let no one suffer. So I have taken R, relieve suffering. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. T, tranquility. So every day, the moment you wake up, you sit on your bed rather than looking your sweet puppy. Puppy is not going to give you happiness, I can bet you. Forget the phone and forget the puppy. You have no, but I love my puppy. Puppy only loves you as long as you give him the food at a regular time. That is all. You stop giving him the food for one day and then see what happens. And many girls say that I love my puppy. Yes, yes, I know you love your puppy. So the heart acronym. I made it very easy, and I hope that you sit and you use the word heart, puppy. So I want that, it is happening, and I hope that it should also happen. So you see that at the same time, I should remember the goal of the human life is twofold. One is do you remember? Then I will go ahead. One goal of life of every human being is the same. Either, what is that? You can use the word awaken yourself, or you can say find the real self, or you can say permanent peace and happiness. You can say eternal love, truth, and wisdom. It is all this pointer to the same real self. That is a common goal of every human being. One goal. Goals in life are many. It has to be many. What is that? Career, wealth, profession, relationship, marriage, and other stuff. Goals in life are many, but goal of life is only one. So, the goal of life is here, goals in life is here. If any intruder enters in between, it causes the suffering. And which is the intruder? It is the false I. It is my ego. When you say you are scared, you are into anxiety, you are reacting, it is your ego.
But that's not even real. I mean, the ego is just a made up term, right? I mean, it's not like there's no second, there's no person.
Yes. It is an I thought.
It's just ignorance, right?
Yeah, it is just ignorance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is just ignorance. You are rightly said. It is just ignorance. So it means when I discern, when there is a challenge, I discern and I recognize the intruder in between the real self, in between the goal of life and the goals in life, is the intruder which which does not exist, but I was given an idea that it exists, and that causes the problem.
Yeah.
And that is
Like
why,
when somebody says, "Oh, that guy has a big ego," that's just means that guy's ignorant. I mean,
yeah,
that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, yeah.
that is ignorance, that is delusion, that is attachment, that is 5 types of foolishness we
Yeah.
discussed. That also, because you see that how this I build a false I or ignorance. Out of the ignorance, I created an I thought. Then this I thought gets the support of the outer possessions, things, and personality and attitude, etc., etc. It collects together. They remain fragmented, but still the I thought tries to go together, tries to bring them together. It causes the delusion, and ultimately the delusion causes the foolishness. And when it causes the foolishness, obviously I have to suffer. Out of the
Yeah.
foolishness, I enter into fear. Because of the foolishness, I enter into anxiety. Because of the foolishness, I react to someone. And then the master, I have discussed about it, but I told you aware model. Do you still remember aware model? A, acknowledge that I am of the nature of real self. Because the false I is also is the nature of the thought without any entity. But when I say I am the real self, it has an entity, it has an essence. So that thought goes to the essence. First, I acknowledge. I accept that I'm the real self. And then I aware, the W acronym, the W letter says withdraw. Withdraw from what? Withdraw from the false I. How the false I is working at this moment? It is working in terms of attachment, clinging. So I have to look myself, where is the attachment? I throw the light of my knowledge. So by discernment, when you throw the light of the knowledge through the discernment, you recognize that now the attachment does not exist. Because the attachment does not exist at the third level, AWA, abolish. So you abolish the delusion. Oh, where is the fear? Fear is not there, anxiety not there. Done. Finished. So AWA. And the R word means relax. I experience that state of calmness which is independent of anything in the world. My mind is so much habituated or so much conditioned, or I should use it is hypnotized by my impulsive thought, past impression that I will go to this restaurant, I will eat pasta, I will be happy. That is one example. So we can use the different examples with that. So that is a part of the delusion. Why delusion? Because of the incomplete knowledge. Why the incomplete knowledge? Because of the false I. What is false I? False I is ignorance. And then what happened? Then only I become a great seeker. The last letter is E of aware. I can embody the real self. At present, I embody the false I. That is the journey. Now, once we understand if that is the journey, then how to go about it? I told you one example. The sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. I have to follow their process. After learning, I follow their process, maybe 5, 6, or 7 steps. So you also have studies the mathematics. So what they do, the triangle is there, and they say, okay, this side, extend this side more, extend this side more, and check the angle outside this first angle outside the triangle. That is the way we go about it. So here in this text, we take stock of all types of delusion. Every type of delusion that we can think, we can imagine, we can dream of it, or we can experience, we try to understand each and every type of the delusion. So by the end of the text, you will see, yes, I'm so happy now. Why? Because delusion is gone. Foolishness is gone, delusion is gone, ignorance is gone, attachment is gone. False I depends on these things. False I depends on attachment. It builds a very strong ego based on attachment, delusion, foolishness, fear, frustration, hunger, reaction. These are the different parts of this false I. So that is why we picked up this text, and in the first text, Master points to our foolishness. So if I translate this verse, it says, the first line, it says, that is why I titled all your audio files, Recognize and Realize the Real Self, the first line. Then the master says, oh foolish. He is addressing to all of us, oh foolish guy. Why? Why? I'm ready to learn. So he has written this verse when if he saw an 80-year-old guy sitting at the bank of Ganges River in the oldest city, craving the rules of the grammar, even when he has written 10 books. Come on, you have written 10 books, so you know the rules of the grammar. Why you are repeating it? It is a metaphor. What is the metaphor? How many times I was in anxiety today? 5 times. How many times tomorrow? 7 times. How many times day after tomorrow? Every day I am repeating the same rules of the anxiety. I react to someone, I'm attached to someone, I react to the third one, I get depressed by myself, I create imaginary fear in me. Rules of the grammar. That is, he is a genius guy. He is a genius guy. He's a great master. So what this master, when he saw that this guy, a great scholar, repeating the rules of the grammar, he created this text as a poetry in different verses, and he had 50 disciples behind him. They noted these verses. And then this master gave a responsibility to 2 or 3 disciples out of the 50 to complete the book. And that is how this book took the shape. Why I told you the story, can you understand that this master with the 50 disciples, and the disciples were ready to whatever comes from the mouth of this enlightened master, I should wrote down, they written down, and then they completed the text. Even though we give authorship to the master, but we know the story, the real life story. That is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. So in the first line of the verse, recognize and realize the real self. Second line, he says, oh, foolishness. So I did not say it is a foolishness. I made it a very soft presentation. And that is why I'm asking a question, how many times you were anxious reacted today, last week? So that is the second line. And third line is that You are cramming the rules of the grammar. Third line. Third line is samprapti sannahite kale. No. Third line means that third line is more revealing. Very interesting. Fourth line is that why you are cramming the rules of the grammar. That is the fourth line. Now come to the third line. When the appointed time of the death comes, you will keep on remembering how many times, I was stressed. Have you seen those people? You have heard in the news, and those people who are dying, they are still in extreme stress, in a mode of reaction, of anger, of frustration, of anxiety, blaming and complaining, I did not live the fullness of the life.
Yeah.
Huh? My son deprived me of this money, or no, my father did not. Only blame, complaint, anxiety, duality, conflict, fear. Can you see the genius of this master? How he visualized the entire picture of not only one person, but he visualized the entire humanity. Entire humanity. What a beauty. That is why I picked up this text. I wanted to tell you, so it has come. Look at this. When I think of his brain, his intellect, his genius, and he was doing only for all of us. He has no interest in becoming the what we say in US the best-selling author.
Well,
I have seen the LinkedIn profile of almost 17 people who have requested me to connect with him, and all were best-selling authors. So I said, I don't want to enter into this league of best-selling authors. I'm okay with myself. Now you know this kind of foolishness.
yeah.
This master is unique, unparalleled. So that is why we are studying the text from the teachings of this Manahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrunna Karni. The fourth line says the rules of the grammar, the repetition of your anxiety, duality, and a conflict over a period of 60, 70 years is not going to save you. You will be in extreme fear at the time of the death. Reverse. I am awakened. I know I am not the body, so I have no birth and no death. I'm happy. I'm happy leaving the body. Body is leaving. Oh, bye bye. Childhood comes and goes away. Youth, you are in that age of the youth, it also comes and goes away. I'm just metaphorically I'm using it. The old age comes, after that only death comes. Like me. The old age comes and it never goes away. I become older, and gone.
Yeah.
The rules of the grammar will not save you. When the appointed time of the death comes, ha 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 ha.
Are you afraid to die?
Not at all. It never comes to my mind. When I wake up, I thank God. God, you are still keeping this crazy guy alive? Thank you very much. So why to worry? Don't I have a desire to write another 10 books? Yes. I'm still writing. So then Then you have a desire. If this is not fulfilled, it does not bring you any fear. No, I have a desire without attachment. Let me have a desire without attachment. There is no problem.
Desire without, yeah, of course.
Oh my goodness, desire without. One old guy, listen to me. You are really crazy. I have still lot of desires. He is 72 years old, and I'm not able to fulfill. I'm worried. I said that is the big difference between you and me. I'm approaching 72, maybe after 6 or 7 years. So if you remain alive, then I will tell you what I am at the age of 72. And he got annoyed. And then I told him that, do you see that? Understand clearly, childhood comes and goes. Youth, we are excited. We don't listen to our parents in the society. We speed up the car. We drink too much. And here in US, we have many drug problems, etc., etc. And who knows? Few people get out of it, then they realize that it is not the life. But now it is already too late. Now I'm over 60.
Yeah.
And then the old age never seems to go. Oh, he said, that is why you are saying. I said, can you give another name after the old age? There is only one thing, that is. Then he cooled down. It becomes very impossible sometime to teach. So once we understand this, we have understood the first verse now clearly. From the next week, we'll have the second verse. But before we go, so what exactly the master is pointing out, if I say it is the foolishness, I have expanded. This experience, this is not written in this text. But then I studied another text. That is why you need a teacher to coach you. Otherwise, you simply read it intellectually. Oh, when the appointed time the death comes, and then the rules of the grammar cannot save you. What a crazy guy. What kind of a verse he has written? Unless you know the context, then only you can explain it beautifully. But then we have a cross references of the different texts from teaching of the one master from the other master. So another master explains what exactly is foolishness that I discussed, 5 types of foolishness. So what happens? We have a sequence: ignorance. You can add attachment, then delusion, and then foolishness, then suffering. You can break any one of them, the rest will be dissolved. The highest seeker clearly understands the very attachment in the delusion. When we are a seeker, it is very easy to understand the 5 types of foolishness. So even if I remove that foolishness from my life, from daily activities, the life is going to take an about turn. So that is why I crisscross references and I said, no, I have to talk to you. So last session we have done it. So basically I want to focus today on delusion, foolishness, and suffering. Simple. Delusion means what appears true is not true. I have a lot of fear. What should I do? What appears true is not true. You have to discern. But I don't get the power of discernment to that level. So let us move to the foolishness. What is the foolishness here? there was I don't forget the name. It's not Lao Tse, but there is another great master in China, and he he was also the king, a ruler, and some other kingdom attacked his country, and his defense staff told him that should we attack and kill them. So he was also a master, awakened master. So he realized that the army of the enemy is coming from extreme cold climate, and why they have thought of attacking my kingdom at this juncture. So he had an intuition. Oh, you need not to worry about it. Uh, one day every person dies, so they will die their own death. And the defense chief of the staff did not understand. So after a month, they heard the news because of extreme climate, the entire army is finished. So now should I kill you? No, one day you will die. Why should I kill you? Now go a little deeper. I kill you because of I react to you out of my ego, out of my wicked conversation. Why should I do that? I should not do that. You are already suffering. But if you are awakened, you will not be affected. So in both the cases, I am harmed. I'm harming myself. That is the power. That is the power of delusion. The power of delusion is so immense.
Yeah.
That we fight for something which does not exist in our life.
Yeah.
We don't sleep. We have sleepless nights because of delusion. Can you think of it?
It's horrible.
Everywhere. We have sleepless nights, my goodness. So it is because of delusion and the foolishness we continue to suffer. So first is the delusion. I imagine what appears true. My mind makes it true by projection, by argument, by I thought. And then I start projecting that this is true. That is a perfect example of a delusion, and this is because of the false eye, because of the wrong conversation, and because of the lack of respect of others, or you can combine all the 5 types of foolishness, and now I'm suffering. On the top of it, the problem is that I am saying that I'm suffering because of you. What a great IQ you have. And these impulsive thoughts never come to an end in a person who is a non-seeker. Non-seeker cannot think of it. That is why we say it is delusion. We can also go a little deeper when we say first we have understood the cream of it, the soul of suffering, foolishness, delusion, attachment, false eye, and last one is the ignorance. Now, once I understand, first, I understand that I recognize, or I understand, or I perceive that my mind has projected something false which I claim as a true. Question is why? because of my impulsive thought. Impulsive thought rise and fall into the mind. But why the impulsive thought? Because of the past impressions. What these past impressions tells me? The past impression tells me that I don't know the real self and peace and happiness are located outside, so keep on trying. Impulsively, by fear, by anger, by fight, by killing. So it has become a habitual kind of a thing. Why it has become a habitual? Because I don't discern, I don't think. Let me think of my impulsive nature. I don't have a time to think. That is why you see in a big sessions where you are invited for a launch of a product, and the first question from the podium, the guy says, "Are you excited?" Why should I be excited? Because of you? You are not as smart as others. So that excitement also results into impulsive nature. We get excited over vacation. I get excited because I found my soulmate. I get excited because I have a new car. I get excited. Long list. Excitement means the energy plus emotion plus the thought is misdirected.
Misdirected how? Like, how?
I'm excited. So if I'm excited, first you ask me, "Are you excited?" I say, "Yeah, I'm excited." Then the guy says, "You follow me." Then I get emotional. I don't inquire whether it is right or wrong. So you see, impulsivity has come. So that is why people cry, "Are you excited?" Why should I be excited? The seeker is never excited. Seeker is calm and relaxed. Why? Because he has the power of discernment. He doesn't allow the impulsive nature to take over. So I went to many meetings here in New Jersey also. And first, you already know, first statement is, "Are you excited?" Why should I be excited? I'm not going to jump into the river. So this entire reason, again, remember, I'm giving you another metaphor, just it came to my mind, that ignorance, attachment, delusion, foolishness, suffering. How many? 5 or 6. These 5 and 6 are the strings of a puppet. We have many strings of a puppet. I had incident of example. I have 10 incidents of anxiety, reaction, upset. So today I lived with the 10 strings and I became a puppet of those strings. Think of this puppet, a person under the influence of a delusion, ignorance, and suffering is like a puppet being controlled by so called invisible strings. Invisible strings of delusion, of foolishness, of attachment, of desire, of fear, of ego. I can continue. They act without true control over my choices, simply reacting to situations on external triggers, and I fall back. How long you are going to repeat the rules of the grammar? It is not going to save you when appointed time of the death comes. Look at the genius of this master. If it doesn't go into our head if we do not digest and assimilate, we are not wise. It is because of this, in the modern world, we are seeking a social media validation. How many
Mhm.
likes in this? It is because of this. That is also a foolishness. We have an impulsive reaction to criticism. We have a shopping addiction. We have a binge eating. I can give you many examples. It is foolishness. Foolishness is controlling me. That's why I have a binge eating, social media validation. Did I tell you that I had 7 or 8,000 followers on the Facebook? 2 weeks ago, I told my team in India to delete my entire profile. I'm not interested. They were looking at my profile, they were taking care for attracting some students, but I said, no, I'm not interested. Delete it. What happened, now you see the foolishness of that team. So they said, we have kept your profile under suspension. I told them, I told you to delete it. Sir, you will say next time that activate it. I said, you are thinking that your mind is my mind? Then I requested, can you really delete it? Erase everything. Did you understand it? Yes. Then they send me that now after 15 days, they will hold on it, and after 15 days or 30 days, I don't know, they will they will remove the profile altogether. Vanity, wicked conversation. Now you understand why our every master says, don't say bad things about any, don't have a bad mouth, don't enter into the gossip. Wicked conversation. It it slowly it creates that level of foolishness. Then we have I'm agitated, or you can add excitement. That is another. And then we have a lack of respect for others. It changes our behavior and attitude. We are always with some kind of unknown pressure. When you wake up, you are tired. When you sleep, you are tired. When you are relaxed, when you are excited, having a keg of a beer or a vodka, then you feel that you are in a different world. The next day you have to face hangover. Think of this. This is the rules of the grammar cannot save you. When the appointed time of the death comes, because of your foolishness, hence, I'm translating the verse, hence recognize and realize the real self.